So hello everyone, Vikram here. This is the pre-market analysis video, and here we'll be focusing on healthcare, biotech, and some miscellaneous movers. I'll be going by this list that I've mentioned here. All these stocks will be covered in this video, and if you're looking for any particular stock from this, you can jump onto the timestamp. Like if you don't want to watch the whole video, you can jump onto the timestamp and see your favorite stock. So I'll be going by this list here. So the first stock that we are going to discuss here is this SRPT stock, and in the previous trading session we saw 5.9% negative move here, and it gave a closing at $17.60. This was the previous day closing here, and the stock has given a breakdown of both these support levels. The first support level was this 18.43. This level broke, and then the 17.97 also got breached here, and we got a closing also below this price. And in my view, now I'm expecting it to test $17.05, maybe today or maybe in the coming few days. This level should be tested next. Now if you look at the pre-market price today, that is 17.73, so it's going to open below this support level, and if it tests this price today, this 17.97, and gets rejected from this price, then it will become a strong resistance then, and the downside target, that as I told you, can be this level of 17.05. But in case if in today's trading session the stock manages to break above this 17.97 and gives a closing above this price, if that happens, then 18.43 can be the next target. So these are the important levels for SRPT stock. Now let's discuss our next stock, that is UNH stock. So in the previous trading session we saw 1.5% up move here, and it closed at $320. And few days back I've given you this target of 319. This target has been achieved in this candle here, and now if you look at the pre-market price, that is $333. This is the pre-market price here, which is above this 319, so it's sustaining above this resistance price in the pre-market, and I'm expecting it to at least come to this level of 337. This 336, this should be tested in today's trading session, and if it manages to give a breakout of this level, and with that if we see a closing also above this price, we can see more upside movement in the coming few days. But remember this thing, that if it gets rejected from this 336 in today's trading session, like if it tests this 336 and start after testing this, it starts going down, then we can see a pullback to this level of $319. So these are the important levels for UNH stock. Now let's discuss our next stock, that is PFE stock. So in the previous trading session we saw 1.3% negative move here, and it closed at $24.55. And in the previous trading session it opened above this 24.66, tried to sustain it, but as you can see it gave a closing below this price, couldn't sustain this level. And in the pre-market session today, you can see the price is 24.60. so in the pre-market session today it's trading below this 24.66. so in today's trading session, if we see this stock testing this 24.66 level, and after testing this price it starts taking a rejection here and starts going down, then we can expect 24.25 to 24.35 as the next target. But in case if it manages to break above this 24.66 today and gives a closing above this price, then we can expect some upside movement in the coming few days. So these are the important levels for PFE stock. So let's discuss our next one, that is NVO stock. So in the previous trading session we saw 1.7% negative move here, and it closed at $54.28. And in my previous video I've given you this target of 53.77 for this stock, and you can see in the pre-market it's already below this target also, which we discussed in my previous video of this particular stock. And at this level, if it opens below this price today, below 53.77, and after that it starts going down, gets rejected from this level, then we can see $51.34 also. But in case if it comes to test this 53.77 today and manages to break above this price, gives a closing above this level, then 55.48 can be the next target. So these are the important levels for NVO stock. Now let's discuss our next stock, that is NVAX stock. So the previous trading session we saw 2.1% negative move here, and it closed at $7.73. And in the previous trading session it tested this 7.85 resistance price. It got rejected from this level and gave a closing below this price. And if you look at the pre-market price also, that is 7.73, which is also below this resistance price. So today it's going to open below this resistance price. If you're looking for good upside movement in this stock, then it must break above this 7.85 and it should sustain above this level, then only we can see a good up move. If it does that, then we can expect this target of $9.07 also. So these are the important levels for NVAX stock. Downside, we have a very good support at 7.49 for this stock, so this can be a very crucial support level. Like if it comes to retest this level, we can see a good support from this price. So these are the important levels for NVAX stock. Now let's discuss our next stock, that is IBRX stock. In the previous trading session, we saw 0.4% up move here and it closed at $2.41. And in the previous trading session, it opened above this 2.42 resistance price, tried to sustain this level, but by the end of the trading session, it gave a closing below this price. But if you look at the pre-market price today, that is 2.43. So in the pre-market session today, it's trying to sustain above this 2.42 level. And if in today's trading session we see the stock sustaining above this 2.42, if this happens, then there are very high chances that 2.53 can be tested next. This can be our next target for this stock. But in case if it again gets uh, rejected from this 2.42 and gives a closing below this price in today's trading session, then 2.37 can be tested on the downside. So these are the important levels for IBRX stock. Now let's discuss our next one, that is HIMS stock. So in the previous trading session, we saw 2.5% up move here and it closed at $49.64. And in my previous video on this particular stock, we have discussed this $52 as the target, and in the previous trading session only it gave our level here. It tested, almost came around this level and then got rejected and closed around this 49.64. And if you look at the pre-market price today, that is above this previous closing here, and that is above this 50 EMA also. So there are very high chances that we can see $52 getting tested again today. And if it manages to break above this price, gives a closing above this level, then 58.31 can also be seen in the coming few days. These are the important levels for HIMS stock. In case if the stock comes to retest this for 50 EMA, that is around this 48.81. If it comes to retest this price today and doesn't sustain it, gives a closing below this price in today's trading session, if this kind of setup forms, then we can see a pullback to this level of $46.50. So this is my view on HIMS stock. Now let's discuss our next one, that is RXRX stock. So in the previous trading session, we saw 0.2% up move here and it closed at $4.62. And in the previous trading session, it tested this 4.78 resistance price. It tried to go above this level but got rejected and gave a closing below this price. And in the pre-market session today, the price is 4.66, which is also below this resistance here. That means this price 4.78 is a very strong resistance here now. And if you're looking for strong up move in this stock, then this price must need to break here now. And if we see this level getting breached on the upside and the price sustains above this level, we can see good up move then in the coming few days, and the target for upside can be this level of $5.41. But for now, the stock in the pre-market is trading below this price, so there are high chances that it can test this 4.50 level today. And if it doesn't sustain this price also, this support level, and it closes below this price, then 4.11 can be seen next. So these are the important levels for RXRX stock. Now let's discuss our next one, that is OSCR stock. So in the previous trading session, we saw 4.3% up move here and it closed at $20.28. And in my previous video on this stock, I've given you this 18.86 level. I told you if the price sustains above this 18.86, we can look for this target of 21.43 here, and this target is still intact. You can see in the pre-market also the price is 20.32, which is above this support level, so it's sustaining above this support price. And this is the reason I am expecting this 21.43 to be tested next now. And once it will test this price, there are very high chances that we can see some resistance from this level, because if you see the previous data, we can clearly see that around this level when the price came, it got rejected and then we saw a fall from that level. But if in the coming few days it manages to break above this 21.43 and we see a closing above this price, the level sustains, then we can see a further up move ahead in this stock. So these are the important levels for OSCR stock. Now let's discuss our next one, that is LAES stock. So in the previous trading session, we saw 1.5% negative move here and it closed at $2.53. And as you can see here, the stock has closed around this support level that was 2.50. This was the support level that we discussed in my previous video, and it has closed just around this level. This 2.53 was the closing and 2.50 was the support level here. So we need to see today if this level holds this 2.50. If we see a green candle forming here around this support level, like around this level we see a green candle forming here, then we can look for this target of 2.70 in the coming few days. This can be our next target then. But in case if the stock gives a breakdown of this 2.50 and doesn't sustain it, gives a closing below this price, then we can expect the stock to test 2.32 on the downside then. So these are the important levels for LAES stock. Now let's discuss our next one, that is FIG stock. So in the previous trading session we saw 4.3% negative move here, and it closed at $52.47. And few days back I gave you this 56.15 level. I told you if the stock gets rejected from this price, then we can see correction ahead in this stock. And in the previous trading session we can see this rejection candle forming here, and with that you can see the pre-market price today is also below this resistance level here. So I'm expecting this stock to correct more here. The next target for this stock is $50. If it sustains this price in the coming few days, then from this level we can again see an up move here. But in case if in today's trading session we see the stock breaking below this $50 and we see a closing below this price, then we can expect further correction ahead in this stock. And if you're looking for good upside movement in this stock, then you need to wait until the stock sustains above this 56.15. Until the stock is below this level, we cannot expect some good up moves here. But once it breaks above this 56.15 and the level sustains also, because that is very important here. So if it sustains above this 56.15 in the coming few days, then we can see a good rally in this stock. These were the important levels for FIG stock. Now let's discuss our next one, that is OPEN stock. So in the previous trading session we saw 9.1% negative move here, and it closed at $6.04. And in the previous trading session it came around this level of 7.32, and then it got rejected and gave a closing around this 6.04. And few days back I've given you this target of 7.99. This target is still intact here until the price is sustaining above this $5.98, or you can take this as $6. Until the price is sustaining above $6, I'm expecting this $8 level. But in case if today like you can see in the pre-market the price is 6.15, so if it opens around this level and comes to test this $6 price and doesn't sustain it, gives a breakdown of this level, and if today we see a closing below this price, then 5.04 can be tested next. But in case if it sustains this $6 level and around this level, if we see a green candle forming here today, if this kind of setup forms, then we can get to this target of $8 in the coming few days. So these are the important levels for OPEN stock. Now let's discuss our next one, that is IXHL stock. So in the previous trading session we saw 10.8% up move here, and it closed at $0.58. And in the previous trading session it managed to break above this 0.55 resistance price. This was the strong resistance level, and the stock has given a closing above this price. But if you look at the pre-market price today, that is 0.54, so it's going to open below this resistance today. And if it opens below this price and starts going down, then on the downside we have a good support at 0.52. So from this 0.52 level we can again see an up move here. But remember this thing, that this 0.52 is a crucial support level also, because this is the 50 EMA. If we see the stock breaking below this 0.52 today and the stock gives a closing below this price, then 0.48 can be tested next. This can be our next target. But in case if the stock opens around this 0.55 and manages to break above this level, gives a closing above this price, then we can see a good up move to this level of $0.66. So this was the video for healthcare, biotech and some miscellaneous movers. I hope you find this information valuable, and if you have any other query related to any other stock, you can comment down below. I'll try to cover that in my next video. So thank you guys for watching this video. I will see you in the next one.